So I wanted to express again my great appreciation of coming here and reading all the names and chats that in the chats, and some names that I recognize from long ago, and some I'm recognizing from here this since we started doing this on YouTube. So, so wonderful to be with you. So one of the important things to be mindful of is, or to be aware of, is that what we do with our attention has a big impact on how we are conditioned. The habits we build up, the dispositions that we kind of build and create, the kind of conditioning that influences us. And one way to see that is that where we direct our attention has a big impact on what we register and therefore are conditioned by, influenced by. So if we spend our precious attention and spend a lot of time focusing on negative thinking that's kind of debilitating or critical, or a lot of hostility or resentment, a lot of self-criticism, a lot of greed, that we're kind of reinforcing that tendency, so it's kind of influencing us. It's kind of like smoothing the channels inside of us for doing those things, making it kind of normal almost. And so we're more predisposed to have those thoughts in the future. If we bring our attention to something which is wholesome, then that's what we're cultivating and being influenced by. And of course, we don't want to have blinders on and ignore what's negative, the difficulties we have. And the way we take care of this in mindfulness is it's the vehicle through which we're aware of both the positive and the negative. And so rather than focusing on what's negative and being involved, using attention to be involved in it, we can know it through one of the four foundations of mindfulness. We can know it as a physical phenomenon in the present. We can know it as being unpleasant or pleasant, whatever it is, in the present. We can know the mind state as being kind of contracted or distracted, or the mind state that's settled, calm and open. We can know whether in being involved in that we're entangled in something, or whether we're kind of spacious around it. And so we're not actually not ignoring what's happening, but we are recognizing it, but through something which is wholesome, through something which is a nourishment. And that is what I want to emphasize today, is whatever is happening, whatever you're meditating on today, can you kind of look around to see how to feel it, how to be with it in the present moment in a way that's nourishing, that feels good, that is freeing and opening. So even if you're involved with something negative, something difficult, and there is a way that you can kind of look around in your body, your mind, your heart, and find out how is it you can hold it in a way that the very holding it is a positive influence on you. So that's the task for today. So, so if you can assume your meditation posture, and part of it is to take some long, slow, deep breaths so that you can see if you can find a way to settle in to this body. A settled body is a way to connect to what is wholesome, nourishing, nurturing. Even if there are difficult things happening, taking a deep breath in and settling your heart. And then we'll sit here quietly, relaxing, settling in, and stay. Whatever is happening in the present moment, can you find a way to breathe with it, to be aware of it, to attend to it in a way that is beneficial, nourishing, through the body, through the heart, through an awareness that is opening. Breathing in and breathing out, here and now. And then as we come to the end of this sitting, to take a few moments to appreciate that one of the really important aspects of mindfulness practice is not what you're aware of, but how you're aware of it. It makes a big difference if you're aware, driven by greed or hatred, resentment, fear, anxiety, or if the awareness is infused with non-greed, non-hatred, non-resentment, non-anxiety. If the awareness itself is pleasant, is enjoyable, is appreciated, is receptive and open, is not straining, is at ease and peaceful. To be aware in an open, easeful way. And as we come to the end of this sitting, perhaps that can be our gift to the people we encounter. That we are aware of them, we meet them and know them and are present for them in a way that is non-violent, non-harming, in a way that is not imposing or pressuring, or not anxious or preoccupied or closed. Perhaps with the support of our mindfulness practice, we can be aware of others in a way that is nourishing for ourselves and therefore friendly and receptive and kind, appreciated by others. May the very way in which we perceive and sense, feel, are aware of others be beneficial to ourselves and to others. Before we have to figure out what to say or what to do, just how we're aware can be our gift. At ease in ourselves, at ease in the eyes that look and see. May we walk through the world with gift-bestowing eyes, with gift-bestowing awareness. And in so doing, may we contribute to the happiness, the safety, the peace, and the freedom of others. May we not underestimate the tremendous value of non-harming awareness that is really present for others. May all beings be happy. Thank you. So for today's talk on clear comprehension, sampajana, clear recognition, I would like to, I'm happy to talk about the third form of clear comprehension, which is clear understanding, clear recognition of the pasture. And pasture, that's a strange expression, but this is I think my favorite of the clear comprehensions. And pasture its a word is gochara, Gocara in Pali. Go is the Pali word for cow, and probably it's a cognate, kind of Indo-European languages have the same source. And chara means where the course, the chariot, I mean not chariot, but the course, the place, the location, the field, the place where the cows go to eat. So pasture. And so what feeds us, what nourishes us, and so to recognize as we do our activities, what is the pasture? Where is the nourishment that can come from anything that we do? Because everything we do, in a sense, is conditioning us. Everything we do is the nourishment for something. So, specifically, the pasture is the four foundations of mindfulness. That the body is a pasture for where we get nourished and supported if we know how to bring attention to it. The attention to the feeling tones of experience, to the mind states, to the dhammas, the mental activities that go on in the mind. All these things are nourishment for ourselves. But the way their nourishment is when we're aware of them in and of themselves. The body in the body, the feelings in the feelings, the mind states in the mind states, and the mental activities in the mental activities. And what this means is a kind of expression from the suttas. And what this means is that we're aware through the vehicle, through the channels of direct experience through these four means, not through the thinking, the proliferation of thoughts, the ruminations, the fantasies, the complaining, the anxiety-producing thoughts that might be spinning around for us. Those are not nourishing. And even if the thoughts are wholesome, they might not be the place of the greatest nourishment. But to be aware of whatever is happening through the channel of the body, and to learn how to, through the body, feel things in a way that feels wholesome. So it's how we're aware that's important, but we can discover that sometimes through the body. And the body becomes the pasture. We can become aware of it through the feeling tones, whether things are pleasant or unpleasant. And even unpleasant things, there's a way of knowing it, a way of being present for it, that oddly enough can be beneficial and nourishing. If you're aware of something is unpleasant, and we're reacting to it and contracting around it and angry with it or despairing around it, then it's not nourishing. But if we go through it and just feel the unpleasantness and unpleasantness, independent of our reactivity, oddly enough, that those unpleasant things begin entering into the beneficial mode. It provides good conditioning for us, good food for us in a certain kind of way, because we're becoming free of it. And then if we're aware of the mind state that's present, so it's all having to do with present moment awareness of the mind state. And that present moment, as soon as we're aware and clearly recognize the present momentness of the mind state, that recognition is no longer caught up in the other pasture we can walk in, the pasture of, as I said, rumination, complaining, judgments, fear, anxiety, the thoughts that are spinning and pulling us around. Negative self-thinking is very harmful. And it isn't that we should just push it away or be aversive to it. The magic of mindfulness practice is that we recognize it that's there, but we don't feed there. We don't let it influence us. And one way to do that is to know where the pasture is. A clear comprehension of the pasture, of the good place to be aware through the body, where feelings in feelings, to be aware without the channel of these spinning thoughts that we might have. And at different times, different pastures are the most beneficial. Sometimes the best pasture is the body, and we just really aware and sense and feel through the body. Sometimes the best pasture is recognizing the feeling tones, the pleasant, unpleasantness, and neutrality of the experience. Sometimes it's be aware of the mind state, the attitude, how awareness holds it. And sometimes it's better to be aware of the operating of the mind, the attachments, the clinging, the freedom, the different wonderful qualities of mind that are present. And so to have clear comprehension of the pasture where we feed from. And as I said, for the Buddha, the best pasture is the 4 foundations of mindfulness. And then I'll repeat because it's so important. How we're aware is where the best nourishment comes. And so we don't have to avoid paying attention to what's difficult, but how we're aware of it is the point. And if we're aware of it through these 4 pastures, it can be beneficial in nourishing the awareness, not the negative states of mind, not the negative thinking. It's how we're aware which is nourishing. But then it's a little different with wholesome states, beneficial states. Then there's a kind of double benefit that how we're aware of them, also not aware without greed or holding on or expectations, but how we're aware of them is beneficial, and they themselves make good food. They themselves are good conditioning. So it's a way of not being conditioned by the negative, but to make room to be conditioned by the positive. All in the service, in the traditional Buddhist sense, of developing greater and greater strength of mindfulness, stability of attention in the present moment, on the way to becoming free. And if we can become free in how we see, become free in how we're aware, our attention to others can become a gift. People can trust us that when we're present with them, that we don't have agendas of our own that we're imposing on them. We're there to see, to be present, and share this common human experience of being alive in this challenging and wondrous world. So thank you very much, and how we're aware of the challenges of the YouTube and sound. That's the art of it, not whether or not the video is choppy or not. But we'll see if we can get it fixed for tomorrow. Thank you.